Alright guys, welcome back in. Another edition of On the Field with Feirman. A very sick Feirman today, unfortunately. I apologize in advance, but I refuse to take any of this garbage medication. All I have is a cold, alright? And every medication that I see says you have the chance of getting drowsy, dizzy, nausea, stomach pains, and vomiting, and, loss of appetite and stuff. Are you kidding me? I'd rather just blow my nose for a couple of days until it stops running. Give me a break. I don't need all that other crap. I'm like, what are you telling me? I'm going to pass out and start vomiting all over myself from the food that I didn't eat the day before because I have no appetite in the first place? Okay, no. I'll just take my cold, okay? That's fine. And getting into that a little bit, how athletes take these giant pain-killing injections with these needles that are 4 feet long, and they stick them in their arm or leg or wherever they're hurting. Could you imagine what the warning label says on that? If you're just talking about a regular over-the-counter drug, dizziness, drowsiness, vomiting, that's some pretty nasty stuff. What about the things that they're doing? And they read the label, they say, yes, take this 3 times a day, but beware of death. Death can come instantly at any time. Death can come after taking 5 steps, after walking out of the shower. Give me a break. No thanks. I'll take my cold. I'll wait for my headache to go away. Alright, I'm afraid to take any of that stuff. So these athletes, I give you guys a lot of credit for doing that. You guys are all freaking crazy. You want to play football and hockey or whatever in pain? Go right the hell ahead. Be my guest. So being the fact that I was sick, and I am sick, I haven't been able to sleep as much, which is another poor side effect, unfortunately. But the fortunate part about it is that I got to watch Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer play some tennis. Alright, don't change the channel. Alright, I'm only going to talk about tennis for a few minutes. And before you start calling it a sissy sport, it really isn't. I mean, number one, those guys have a great rivalry. I mean, it is intense. Tennis is a one-on-one sport, guys. It's just you. You have nobody to rely on. There's nobody to pass the ball to. There's nobody to throw blame on. It's just you versus somebody else on one side of the court versus the other, and that's it. You got nobody to rely on. One-on-one sports to me are the ultimate. Don't get me wrong, I love football, baseball, basketball. Those are my favorite sports. I guess because you grew up with them. And I did grow up playing tennis and whatnot. Not that I'm any good or anything like that, but it's a lot of fun, and it gets intense, and it's a big deal. And the more you play, the more you love it. So don't knock it. And if you're going to say, oh, well, women can play tennis, yeah? Those are pretty hot freaking women, all right? I like Serena Williams. She does it for me, all right? Wozniacki, all these chicks, Maria Sharapova, these are good-looking girls, okay? And they're good athletes, and they will kick your butt at tennis any day of the week. So before you start calling them non-athletes and it's not a fun sport and it's not a competitive sport, go play one of those girls that are down at the Australian Open right now and have your butt whipped. I'd love to see that happen. So, look, tennis is a pretty cool sport. Give it a try before you knock it. So is racquetball. That's awesome. You got a little blue ball flying around all over the place, and it's coming at you like 100 miles an hour. It's a lot of fun. Get into these other things because, unfortunately, we all can't go out and play pro sports, so we got to do our amateur stuff, flag football, softball leagues, whatever it may be. Softball drives me nuts. The rules in that, you got a fence that's 30 feet in. People are hitting home runs left and right, and all of a sudden it becomes an out if you hit a home run. You get so late into the game when it's 23-20. These rules are ridiculous, so stop with them. And speaking of rules, the B.C.S, the football system, NCAA, change them. Change them. I've had an idea for so long where you can keep your integrity of your bowl games and you can have a playoff system at the same time. And now you're finally starting to talk about it, and now people are biting my ideas. For 5 years I've been saying, you got your Rose Bowl, you got the the Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl. You got your major bowls, right? You get 6 teams in, you give 2 of them a bye, all right? The 2 top ones get a bye. Then you have the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl be your first 2 games, all right, between the 4 teams. You eliminate 2. Now you're down to, let's say, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, all right, as your conference championships, for lack of a better term. And then it comes down to those 4 teams playing for, again, 1 spot, 1 championship game, your B.C.S. National Championship, your Fiesta Bowl, whatever you want to call it. There you go. You got your bowls, you got your playoff system, everybody's happy, you're all still making money, and you're probably making a lot more money. And then we get to find out who's a true champion. Not to mention the fact that these smaller schools now will get a shot. I know TCU moved into the East, so they have a better chance of getting a higher ranking at the end of the year, but like the Boise States or whatever it may be, and Utah's, teams are moving conferences around left and right, but Rutgers, whatever it may be, Give these guys a shot, and you can. Then you can legitimately put them in a playoff system where they have a chance, and they don't have to cry when Utah finishes 12-0 at the end of the year. And I don't blame them, you know? If you let them play the real competition, then you have a chance. All right? So I like that idea. It's out there. It's YouTube. It's on my website, sports4fans.blogspot.com. Give it an idea, NCAA. 6 teams, top 2 get a bye. You have your playoff games. You got the Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl, and then the next series you got the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and then you get your Fiesta Bowl. You could switch them around to make, you know, each venue different year number one, you know, the number 1 championship B.C.S. game. So do that. Have fun with it. It'll be great. All right? And don't tell me about the kids missing time with classes and finals and stuff like that. You guys put 40 days in between the championship games, so I don't want to hear it. You got time to play a couple of games on the weekend, all right? And speaking of the games, the one big one that we got coming up, which I want to close out with real quick, just a really quick preview of the Giants-Patriots rematch. They're starting to get a pretty good rivalry. You know, New York and Boston already have the sweet rivalry with baseball and everything, and, you know, not so much in hockey. Basketball, yeah, the Knicks and the Celtics, certainly. Yankees, Red Sox have always been the big one, but now the Jets and the Patriots are like the rivalry in the AFC East, but now the Giants and the Pats really got one going. You know, the Giants have got the better of them the last few times. They beat them earlier this year in Foxborough. They beat them in the Super Bowl. They were 18-0, the Patriots, and stopped that streak. And that's one of the most amazing stories of all time. It's kind of hard for me to smile and talk about the Giants right now after what they did to my guys over here. I always have to mention them, but I'm really looking forward to it. Look, Eli looking to put himself in like real elite status. Brady's already there. He's looking to put himself into superior status. Belichick going for his 4th. Coughlin going for his 2nd. Both Bill Parcells guys. A lot of storylines here. I think in total there's 22, 23 players that remain between both teams. I think about 15 of them are starters, something like that. You know, you got your obvious guys on the defensive line, like, you know, Osi Manura, Justin Tuck. Now Pierre Paul is there instead of, you know, Michael Strahan. You know, you still got like your Matt Lights and, you know, you guys over there with Brady and Welker, but now you have Gronkowski and Hernandez. So they're not, while it's similar situations in ways, very different teams. And the Giants don't run the ball like they used to. They rely on Eli Manning, and now it's Eli Manning's team, and he's the leader. You know, it's always been Brady's team over there, but when Brady's team is winning championships, that was a while ago, guys. I mean, everybody thinks that they're like, they haven't won a Super Bowl since 2004, okay? So we're talking about, what, 6-7 years now already that they haven't. They were winning with defense back then. Brady was just the key. He was a part to the puzzle. He's great now, but they're not winning Super Bowls because their defenses got weaker. All that being said, the defense right now is playing better. So with the Giants D playing better, the Pats D playing better, 2 great coaches, 2 great quarterbacks. I love it. I mean, it's definitely a storied Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to it, no doubt about it. I'm going to put some cash on the game. I'm going to fill in a few boxes, try to win a couple of dollars. I'll certainly give you guys my predictions, final scores, you know, with the line and everything like that. Not that I endorse gambling or anything, but, you know, just in fun. So we're going to have that all for you in the next few days. It's still a little bit early. We still got, you know, a little over a week to go for the Super Bowl, but we'll have all that information for you. I got my new blog up. It's about Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, the situation with the Colts. What should they do? You can leave your comments. Sports4fans.blogspot.com. Sports4fans.blogspot.com. Leave your comments. You know, if you want me to write about something, any topics you want me to bring up, whatever it may be, I'm here for you guys. I love you. Thanks for watching. I'm out for the day, and I'll talk to you later.